Do you want early access? Do you want uncut reactions? If so, then check out our Patreon. Link in the description down below. Fire! Yeah. That's I can't remember the rest of the words. Is that old funk song from like it was like Firehouse, I think it was what it was called.
I don't know.
It's a pretty good song. But yeah, this we're now getting into the latter half of the second season of Fire Force, and yeah, it's a brawl, baby. A good old-fashioned melee. As a matter of fact, according to the title, it's going to be a three-way melee. So, I know Shinra and the Reaper are involved in this, and Reaper has a fascination with beating up kids.
Apparently someone else is going to come in.
I can take a wild guess as to who, and I'm pretty sure he has red hair and hates Reaper.
The kid?
Yeah.
I think he's too injured right now.
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see. I really hope Reaper just gets his ass kicked. That's what I'm hoping for, because I just do not like him. For anyone who delights in beating up children, I mean, first off, why would you let him out of prison?
The only time I've ever delighted in anyone beating up children was the episode of It's Always Sunny where Mac and Charlie beat up the kids that stole their bikes. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah, they did.
Those little bastards deserved it. Here's the thing. I'm talking about kids who've literally done nothing wrong. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. This is Fire Force Season 2, Episode 15, a three-way melee. Here we go. Oh god, it's the intro to Mayday. Dude's looking a little wall-eyed.
Guess you might have been right.
And it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire. The ring of fire.
無柱目のアドラバーストが目覚めたということか。やはり新楽のアドラバーストがきっかけになったのか。
Told you, by the way.
Huh?
Told you, by the way.
You were right.
聞こえますか。状況が動きました。
Here we go.
新楽の人がピッツだ。急げバレた。黒田君、実験は中止。ナタク君の方に向かってくれ。新楽、もう実験に付き合う必要はない。ここを出よう。
Nice shot, Lick.
もやしの中では負けないぞ。
Oh god! Security! Security!
ナタクソンはやっぱりここにいたよ。彼がアドラバースト。
ナタク君を守ってくれ。
消防隊か。中には弱いやつもいるだろう。
Oh, please tell me he runs into Maki and she grinds him into a powder. I hope that's what happens.
I hope he runs into all of them and they all grind him into a powder. Is the matchbox about to get totaled?
I hope not.
引き潰してやるぜ。
Woo!
雲やオン。
Oh ho! That's awesome. Release! That's a hell of a roadblock.
Impressive.
Big ass pump knot on the side of his head.
俺がマッチボックスをひっくり返したんだ。あの小ささでどんな出力してんだ。
It's a puppet.
廃止後のジェネレーターはどんなの使ってやがるんだ。
Hey.
こんなところでどうしたの？
I thought her hair was blue for some reason.
この天使のバックルがわかるでしょ？いいお姉さんよ。ドミニオンズ、大きなお友達と遊んであげましょう。
警備のおじさんにそんなことしちゃダメだ。弾かれた。もう一度。おならブラスター。おならブラスター。
Oh, really?
What the fuck?
Booty!
なんて下品な。絶対に当たりたくない。あら、子供たちには子供 供たちの楽しい日常を崩さないで。
お前たち灰島が子供を虐待してるのは知ってるんだよ。何が楽しい日常だ。ふざけんな。
あのメカの名前は何？
二式浮遊ユニット鉄橋だ。
あの見た目からして私なら今橋ちゃんズ。かわいい、それいい。
You airhead!
なんで？
でも今橋ちゃんズはダメだ。キャラクター感が半端ない。愛着はしてほしいがメカはやっぱりメカなの。一定の距離感がある長い、そういう理由で鉄の袋鉄橋って名前は完璧だ。メカにあの子だのこの子だの言うやつには一生わからねえんだよ。メカに女の名前つけて可愛い子ちゃんとかいうやつはただのスケベだ。ドスケベ。
いいじゃない。可愛い名前つけて可愛がってあげればちゃんとメカだって答えてくれるわ。
メカはあくまでメカだ。信頼関係なんて築けやしねえ。だから人との間には信頼が必要なんだ。
ここは任せた。俺たちは信者たちを助けに向かう。
子供なんて楽しませれば楽しむし、困らせようとすれば困る。予想できる動きだけ、こっちの思うがまま。メカも子供もどっちも大人の道具。
パワーで負けている以上、このままやり合ってもどうしようもない。最大出力の一撃にかけよう。
私はバルカンを信じますよ。勝ち場状態へ移行よーし。
遠熱動力を送れ。加速噴射回路全弾直結。全門解放完了。
三鎮式発射。出たと形状から敵の出力限界値は推測がつく。やっぱり私とドミニオンズの勝利は動かない。
出力値限界点に到達。いけて。
敵を最大出力90、100。おならブラスター。
Violent but deadly, God have mercy.
よちよち、そのまま吹き飛ばしてしまいなさい。
Uh-oh!
嘘でしょ。
お前が相手にしているのはメカじゃない、人間だ。
あのメカのどこにあんなパワーが。ちょっと驚いちゃった。
みんなと合流しよう。
そうですね、急ごう。ちょっとまだお遊戯の時間は終わっ。何勝った気でいるのかな。
Oh, you gotta be kidding
Oh,
me.
God have mercy.
後ろの弱そうなやつをまずやらせろ。
シンラ、リヒト、無事だったか。
大隊長、ナタクを見つけましたが灰島の社員に確保されました。第8の隊員ども。
アイリス、下がって。
消防隊にも
Oh.
あんな弱そうなやつがいるのか。弱き者を守っても無駄なだけだぞ。
私の予知通り。
Oh, damn it.
柱と森人はコンビだからな。でもハウメアが俺のことをうざがってあっち行けって言うんだ。
インカお嬢様は私がお守りします。メイドが私が、
同じ森人なんだから仲良く柱を守ろうぜ。
お前は
無柱目は俺たちのもんだ。
手応えがない。
It's not who I'd hope, but at least someone's gonna fucking crush him.
どうなってる。また来やがったかカロン。
またあったな、ヒネズマ。無柱目をもらいに来たぞ。
なんでここにアドラバーストが出るって分かった。まさかインカか。
ほらそこら中に危険が。
Oh, Alme.
私のドミニオンズが。の代わりに私を守れよ、アロン。
She's still alive?
Apparently
I
so.
thought she was dead.
Same.
私が何とかする。バルカンはアーサーを。 お遊戯の時間は終わりか。カモンしつけようドミニオン。
Punisher Dominion. Oh no.
Shiny. That's what she said.
I'm going to refrain from saying anything. I'm just going to nod my head and just be... Fucking...
It was too easy.
I know.
Is that an after credit scene?
I think there's something.
Just a credit scene.
Okay. Yeah, next time on Fire Force Season 2. Will Shinra get revenge on Inca?
Probably not.
Probably not, bro. Nah.
I don't think we're gonna get our retribution for that bitch until probably like the end of the show.
Oh, God, man.
I'm gonna be really pissed too if she gets like a retribution arc or like a what do you call it, like a redemption arc.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be like, that bitch straight up murdered her friend, like set him
And
on
laughed
fire
about
and
it.
laughed and watched him burn to death. Like she doesn't deserve redemption.
And it's not like she had a mental break either. It's not like, you know, she had a mental breakdown and anything like that. No, it's just the fact that she got an enjoyment out of watching her friend get basically burned to a crisp.
Yep.
And she's the one who started it.
Yep.
Jesus. I wonder how, like, Sharon is going to be this time around as well, because I wonder if, now that Shinra...
See, like, him, I'm more willing to be like, he could be like a character that gets a redemption arc at some point.
I don't think he will. I think he's way too dedicated to being a part of the White Clad, because...
He's not as hateable as the rest of them, though.
No.
Like, him and Hame are probably, like, the least hateable, but Hame is still pretty, like, unredeemable. Like, she's just kind of psychotic, but I kind of like her for her psychotic craziness.
Yeah. Arrow, she seems to just be, like, a dedicated
She's pretty
soldier.
much a cold-blooded, it seems like.
Yeah.
Cold-blooded killer type.
And then there's, I'd say, in terms of his association with the White Clad, Giovanni definitely deserves to die.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, horribly.
And then you got crazy, non-human
Yeah.
shapeshifter guy that's probably pure evil.
Yeah. There's several members of the White Clad who can all bite the dust, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But...
like, Karen's the only one that I'm like, I don't completely, like, hate. Like, you know, it's like he's pretty chill despite being a bad guy, basically. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
And I'll give him props for, like, you know, dropping in and starting to beat up. I mean, even though it's, like, for the reason of taking the kid, obviously. Like, you know, dropping in and starting to beat up the bullier. It's like, oh, hell yeah.
Because
it's not really who I expected or who I would have wanted to kick that guy's ass, but at least there's somebody that guy can't hurt right now, and that's nice.
Yeah. And, honestly, Reaper, I'm convinced, is now going to try and avoid... Because his whole motive is he wants to basically fight the weak.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just had a sickening thought. What if Reaper joins up with the White Clad because of the amount of strong people they have at their disposal, and because of them wanting to attack the weak all the time, he joins up with them?
Yeah, I don't know if they'll just let anybody join, though. But
I mean, honestly... I think as long as they're willing to submit to the idea of, you know, there being a higher power at work.
I mean, honestly, it wouldn't really fit. Their goal wouldn't fit with his goal, though, because his goal is to have weak people around to bully, and if they're just going to wipe everything out...
Or just... no, he said in his statement there, it's like,
anymore.
Spare the strong, destroy the weak. That's his thing.
Yeah, but they're not wanting to spare anybody, so...
Well...
it still wouldn't really fit either way.
I don't know, man. I guess we'll just have... I mean, hell, we had the prediction early on for Inca that she was going to join up with the Fire Force, and look how that turned out.
Yeah.
But you did call the fact that Nataku would be the sixth pillar. You called that from
like
a
I said,
country
he was
mile.
in the intro. That was my evidence.
Okay, but yeah. Anyway, I hope that Nataku, if he is saved by the Fire Force, that he will get the help that he needs to see that Rekka, the starry-eyed dude, that Rekka is dead, and that he doesn't have to fear him anymore.
Yeah. It's like there's going to be like a whole thing if they actually get him to come with the Fire Force this time, where they're going to have to realize that Rekka is his internal voice right now, and they're going to have to be like, dude, that dude was psychotic. You need to, he's going to have to go through some therapy and shit.
Oh, dude. Oh, well, it's just like...
That's also one thing that kind of worries me, is it would make a lot more sense for a kid that has Rekka as an internal voice to end up with the White Clad at this point.
Which, that's why I'm hoping the Fire Force gets a hold of... Well, I mean, hell... Look at what's her name, who's associated with Vulcan, the redheaded woman. I forget her name now, but she was. Hell,
Lucy?
Huh?
Wasn't her name Lucy? Or maybe I'm thinking of a different character.
But she was
I forgot her name too.
Yeah, she was associated with Vulcan's workshop, and then she betrayed Vulcan, and she actually was pretty much a white clad under Giovanni, and then when she got saved. By Vulcan. Lisa, thank you.
I knew it started with an L.
Yeah, Lisa. So, I think Lisa, she's a prime example of someone who has fallen deep into the White Clad's pocket out of fear, who has come back. And don't get me wrong, she still has problems. She still shudders at the thought of Giovanni, which, don't get me wrong.
She still basically straight up told him, she's like, I'm fully planning to go back to them if I get the chance, pretty much.
She says that, but her actions say different because...
Well, like, Shinra is obviously like, yeah, you won't want to. Like, so...
Well...
He's confident they can convince her otherwise.
Well...
She just needs enough time away from the manipulation to realize that shit can be better than it was, basically.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think her actions during the whole thing with Vulcan display that. Like, the whole Vulcan arc in the beginning, and then when they went into the underground... her actions basically spoke for that. Like she was starting to feel there was something else outside of Giovanni's manipulation and his like hold that he had over her. But his hold is so strong, he still causes her to be dependent on him.
Well, that's the whole thing that happens with victims of abuse is
God, dude,
don't feel like they deserve anything better, and they have a tendency to just go back to it. Like, even if, they've been made fully aware that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Some of them still, just don't leave it, and, they'll go back as soon as, they're given the opportunity. It's really sad.
It is. And
it's just, a horrible thing about the manipulation and shit. Those people, get into your brain, and they become, a part of your life, a bit, essentially. And even though they're making your life a living hell, they've warped your brain to the point where you can't picture a different kind of life that's any better than that, essentially.
Yeah. And basically the biggest thing is just, you feel like that's all you deserve. You don't deserve to be happy. You don't deserve to have a good life. That they've convinced you that you can't do any better than this. And that, to me, is a prime example of just people who do that, man. I've seen it in the real world. I've seen people who get manipulated like that, and the people who do the manipulating, I really wish I could literally pound their head into the dirt.
Yeah, there was a poor lady that showed up at my parents' house one night, knocking on the front door because she was afraid her husband or boyfriend or whatever was going to kill her. And then, I asked my mom, a few weeks later, what had happened, and she's like, apparently she just went back to him. She's like, what the actual fuck? That was, one of the times I remember actually, kind of looking into, mental abuse and physical abuse and stuff, and how people think is, and kind of saw, some examples of how people just will go back to that full well knowing what... it's not going to stop, basically.
I have a cousin. I'm not going to name her here, but she did go back to her boyfriend, who literally beat her within an inch of her life, because he'd spent years pretty much convincing her, after her years and years of like drug abuse and everything, that no one will ever love her again. No one will ever love her. Like no one's ever going to love you because of what you've done to yourself. I'm the only one that you've got left. That's basically all he kept saying to her. And it took him going to prison, and then basically her with no hope of anything, and basically her family stepping in and just being like, look, he doesn't care about you. When's the last time he called you and said that he loved you? When's the last time anything? And as a matter of fact, why did he try and implicate you in the whole like thing, so that it's because he wanted to put it all on you. And it took years for her to come to grips with the fact that he was the one fucked up, not her. Yeah. And
that's why I wish there were harsher laws against people who are proven to be abusers and shit.
Same, dude. I really wish that there was like,
because like the only way that people can usually escape from that is to be forcibly separated from that person for a long enough amount of time to realize that shit is better without that person.
Yes, it's like a drug addiction, man. I mean, I mean, when people have that mentality about them, they think that that's all they know because they've been drenched in it for so long.
Yeah, it's a good point, because like that's basically the only way you can get over an addiction is to be separated from that substance for long enough that you realize that shit can be okay without it.
And it'll cause you pain. Like you will feel like ill because of the fact that you're missing it. Like I've witnessed people go through withdrawals of opioids. I've witnessed people go through withdrawals of heroin. And it's ugly, dude.
Oh, those are the same thing technically.
Well,
heroin is a very strong opioid, but
it is, but in terms of how it's synthesized, that's really the only difference. But I've witnessed it, and it is ugly to see people go through that.
I've witnessed opioid withdrawals, and then I've heard horror stories about alcohol withdrawals as well.
That one, I witnessed someone go through that as well, but they went back to it.
And then I've personally experienced nicotine withdrawal, and it's not nearly as bad as what I've heard about from, obviously, those other two things, but it's still really difficult. Like, even with a less addictive substance like nicotine, it's not fucking easy to just be like, oh, I'm done with that.
No, it's not easy at all. But, alright, I guess we better move on to the next one. So, this was Fire Force Season 2, Episode 15, a three-way melee. I guess in the next episode, we're probably going to see more of the battles going on. So I guess we'll have to tune into that. So I guess until next time, everyone, signing off, I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
See you then, everyone. Peace out.